What's up, man? This conversation here just had to be had. It's your boy Flaw 700, half of the podcast, brothers. And I'm back with another vlog. It's been a minute. There's something that was trending on Twitter that I felt I needed to address immediately. Paul Pierce said that he was better than D Wade, basically better than Dwayne Wade. Now, I'm going to say that yes, D Wade is my favorite player. The Miami Heat is my favorite team. I get that part. But I'm not. I'm a realist though. And I know it is what it is. D Wade battled a lot of injuries, which kind of stopped him from being the best he could be, for longer periods of his career. D Wade's had bad knees for a long time. Paul Pierce says you give him Shaq, he wins the championship. You give him LeBron and Bosh, he wins the championship. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a stack. If you give Paul Pierce the Shaq that they gave Dwayne Wade, whatever team that Celtic team, it's not winning a championship at all. D Wade was superhuman in those finals, so we can just take Shaq out the picture. Shaq averaged about 11 points in that finals. If I'm correct, Shaq averaged about 11 points in the finals. Shaq was on his way down, and D Wade was on his way up. And D Wade averaged around like 45 points a game in the last 4 games when the Heat swept the Dallas Mavericks to win that championship in 2006. I've never known Paul Pierce to average that in a four game span. I could be wrong. I didn't do my Googles because I just don't think Paul Pierce got it in him. It's not in Paul Pierce's blood. Paul Pierce is nice. Paul Pierce can win a game. He's clutch. But I've never known Paul Pierce for nothing but being an offensive player. D Wade averages more points per game than he do for the career, more blocks per game for the career, more steals per game for the career. The only advantage Paul Pierce has is rebounds. But you got a few inches on my boy. Pause if needed. You got a few inches on my boy. You're supposed to be the better rebounder. And Paul Pierce says, I never played with nobody for 10 years of my career. But then we see that he played with Antoine Walker. Now, Antoine Walker was on the Miami Heat team in 2006 when they won the championship. So Antoine Walker wasn't that big of a, I don't want to call him a bust because Antoine Walker wasn't a bust. He a world champion and deadly from 3-point range. But you got to work with what you got. And Paul Pierce never shows superhuman strength. He let the excuse of he never had nobody get to him. Because now he's talking, about it. I never had nobody. When do you hear players say that? I know that's been the story for his career, that he's never had nobody, but you shouldn't say that because you're disrespecting your teammates. Now, let's talk about the big three in Boston, KG and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. And you had Rondo, who we didn't know nothing about, but turned out to be, one of the best point guards at the time. Ray Allen was still in his prime and KG was in his prime. You can argue that they was over the hill, but together they was incredible. It's a toss-up. I don't think they was over the hill yet. Boston was a force. Problem is they only won one championship. Paul Pierce and the big three only won one championship. Paul Pierce and the big three had to go through so many game sevens just to get to that championship. They couldn't be dominant in no series. They were a dominant regular season team, but when it came to the playoffs, man, they need every game 7 they could get to get to the finals. Not the Heat, though. The Heat didn't need 7 games to win a championship. They needed 6. The Boston Celtics beat the Los Angeles Lakers that year, and I don't think it went 7. But the road to them getting there in the Eastern Conference, boy, did they get beat up. The next year, KG gets hurt, I think, which kind of derails their season. And then the third year, they went to the finals and Perkins get hurt. And that's their excuse that they can't win a championship because Perkins got injured. Ray Allen, KG, and Paul Pierce lost to the Lakers because Kendrick Perkins got injured. But you better than D Wade. But you can't win a championship without Perkins. If Perkins was healthy, so let me hear the story. If Perkins was healthy, the Boston Celtics win 2 out of 3 championships. The thing is this, Paul Pierce, you had the big three. You won 1 championship. You won 1 title, man. Never showed superhuman strength. The only superhuman strength you ever showed was getting carried off the court, and then surprisingly, to no one's surprise, because we know how you do, surprisingly, you come back like nothing ever happened. This guy was carried off. I can go on and on about Paul Pierce. I really can. I could kill this guy, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to end this right here. Paul Pierce, you are nowhere near in D-Wade's league, buddy. D-Wade is the 3rd best 2 guard of all time, 4th or 3rd, however you want to argue. It's debatable. Jordan, Kobe, Wade, Jerry West, or Kobe, or Jordan, Kobe, Jerry West, Wade. It could go wherever. However you want to go, Wade is in your top 5 2 guards. Where's Paul Pierce in small forward? Once again, I can keep going, but I'm going to end this here. I'm sorry, I'm going to end this here. D-Wade is better than Paul Pierce.